The next one. She has ordered 2 dozens of copies of English book by Mr. Gupta. She has ordered 2 dozens of copies is a wrong usage. 2 dozens of eggs is wrong. It must be 2 dozen eggs, 3 dozen eggs, 4 dozen eggs, 5 dozen eggs, etc. So 2 dozens of copies is wrong. It must be 2 dozen copies. 2 dozens copies is also wrong usage. 3 dozens eggs is wrong because 2 dozen copies is a noun. The word dozen is acting as an adjective here. An adjective should not be used in the plural form. So it must be 2 dozen copies of English book by Mr. Gupta. I say there is one more error. It must be the English book by Mr. Gupta. English book is a noun. In this sentence, we have some information given regarding the noun English book. What is that? By Mr. Gupta. So we are talking about a specific English book. As we're talking about a specific English book, it must be the English book by Mr. Gupta. It could be a typo. So in the given statement, we can go this way. There is in part B. There's more than one error in sentence. You attempted to get the marks. The next one. A trained gang of sailors was employed on the ship. Collective nouns. I told you this, like a fleet of ships, a fleet of airplanes. You need to know collective nouns by heart. What is a group of something called? What is a group of something called must be known to you. You should learn those by heart because there's no rule regarding that. A gang of sailors is a wrong usage. It must be a crew of sailors or a deck of sailors. Both are fine. So a trained crew of sailors or a trained deck of sailors was employed on the ship. Was employed or were employed? We have 2 nouns before the verb. One is a trained crew, the other one is sailors. Eliminating the middleman, the word sailors will get eliminated. A trained crew, crew is a countable noun, collective noun. Collective nouns carry a singular verb with them, so was employed is completely fine. A trained crew or trained deck of sailors was employed on the ship. Sailors were employed on the ship, correct. Or many sailors were employed on the ship, correct. A trained crew of sailors was employed on the ship. Scissors are broken. A pair of scissors is broken. The same thing. The next one. These kind of shirts are rather expensive for him to buy. I told you about demonstrative pronouns. This, that, these, those. This and that are singular, so a noun along with this and that must also be singular. These and those are plural, so the noun along with these and those must also be plural. These kind, these is a plural pronoun, kind is a singular noun, these kind is a wrong usage. We got the answer must be option A. Now, this kind is a correct usage, this kind is a correct usage, these kinds is also a correct usage. This type, that type, these types, those types. This kind, that kind, these kinds, those kinds. This kind is a correct usage, these kinds is also correct usage. Now my question is, in this sentence, we got the answer. There's no need for you to frame the correct answer, just find out the error, it's only a task. But still, my question is, in this sentence, should it be this kind or these kinds? Part A contains an error. Leave it. Come to the rest of the sentence. Are rather expensive. The verb here is are, plural. So the subject must also be plural. Right. So I say in this sentence it must be these kinds of shirts. These kinds of shirts are rather expensive. We have 2 nouns before the verb. One is kinds and the other one is shirts. 2 nouns before the verb. We have to go for the method eliminating the middleman. The noun that comes in the middle is shirts. So just eliminate shirts. We have only 1 noun left. These kinds, plural. The verb must also be plural. Are rather expensive. So subject of agreement is completely fine. These kinds of shirts are rather expensive. What expensive? These kinds of shirts are expensive. Kinds of shirts, noun, kinds is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So word expensive becomes an adjective. How expensive? Rather expensive. So the word rather describes expensive. Expensive is an adjective. Any word that describes an adjective is called an adverb. So rather becomes an adverb. Getting it? Think about every word in every sentence. The next one. The Hindus, the Muslims, the Sikhs and the Christians are brothers, so they love one another. Right. Now, the Hindus, the Muslims, the Sikhs and the Christians. Correct usage. The rule regarding and. Now if I say the Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs and Christians, that means all are one. The Hindus are different from the Muslims, different caste I'm saying, different religions or caste. The Hindus are different from the Muslims are different from the Sikhs are different from the Christians. So these are different religions. Right? So the is required in front of every religion. The Hindus, correct usage. The Muslims, correct usage. The Sikhs, correct usage. The Christians, correct usage. So up to here, no error. Are brothers. The subject here is plural. We have four entities. Four entities are there. Subject is plural. The verb must also be plural. Are brothers is the correct usage. So they love. The subject, the pronoun here is they. Plural pronoun. The concept of pronoun antecedent, every pronoun must refer to a noun before it. A singular pronoun can refer only to a singular noun. The plural pronoun can refer only to a plural noun. I told you, when you go for a sentence, first identify the subject in the sentence. If the subject is singular, the verb and the pronoun must also be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb and the pronoun must also be plural. The subject here is the Muslims, the Hindus, the Sikhs and the Christians. Four entities are there. So the verb and the pronoun must also be plural. The verb here is are, plural. The pronoun here is they, plural. That concept is completely fine. They love one another. I told you when to use each other and when to use one another. Each other can be used only when there are two entities. One another can be used only when there are more than two entities. How many entities are here? Four entities are here, so we cannot use each other. It must be one another. That concept is also fine. Then, so is a cause and effect indicator. And every cause and effect indicator must connect a reason and a result. Positive result, negative reason, negative result. We have two ideas here. The first idea, the second idea. Which idea is a reason here? The Hindus, the Muslims, the Sikhs and the Christians are brothers. This idea is the reason here and it is a positive reason. If the reason is positive, the result must also be positive. The result here is they love one another, positive. So the concept of cause and effect indicator is also completely fine. The concept regarding nouns, completely fine. Subject of agreement, completely fine. Pronoun antecedent, completely fine. Prepositions, completely fine. Cause and effect indicator, completely fine. All the concepts are fine. There is no error in this sentence. So the Hindus, the Muslims, the Sikhs and the Christians are brothers. So they love one another. Getting it? The next one. The law of indexes proves very helpful in algebraic calculations. There is no noun like indexes. This is a wrong usage. There is no noun like indexes. It is just index. Right? The law of index. Right? Now, we got the answer. The error is in part A. The law of index proves we have two nouns before the verb. One is the law, the other one is index. Forget about index. The noun here is the law, singular. The verb must also be singular, proves. Proves very helpful in algebraic calculations. Calculations is a noun, ION word, used in the plural form. Algebraic calculations means the word algebraic describes calculations. Calculations is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So word algebraic becomes an adjective here. Getting it? Right. The error in the statement is in part A. There's no noun like indexes. It must be index. I lived in a 300 years old house in Mumbai. The noun house, the word house is a noun because of the article a. A 300 years old is a single usage. Right? Noun is house. If house is a noun, 300 years old becomes an adjective. An adjective should not be used in the plural form. So a 300 years old is wrong. It must be a 300-year-old. A 300th year is also wrong. It must be a 300-year-old house in Mumbai. There is in part B. The next one. It is harmful to take cups full of coffee 8 times a day. Coffee is an uncountable noun. There's nothing like 1 coffee, 2 coffees, 3 coffees, 4 coffees. No. Coffee is uncountable. Cup of coffee is countable. 1 cup of coffee, 2 cups of coffee, 3 cups of coffee. Right. Then there is a usage like cupful. 1 cupful of coffee. Cupful is a correct usage. 1 cupful of coffee. Like 1 cup of coffee, 1 cupful of coffee. 1 cup of coffee, 2 cups of coffee. 1 cupful of coffee, 2 cupfuls of coffee. There's a word like cupfuls, C-U-P-F-U-L-S. 1 cupful of coffee, 2 cupfuls of coffee, 3 cupfuls of coffee, 4 cupfuls of coffee, etc. There is no usage like cups full. Cups full is a wrong usage. It must be cupfuls. Even though it sounds absolutely incorrect, it is completely fine. It must be cupfuls. That is in part B. It is harmful to take cupfuls of coffee 8 times a day. Getting it? Some incorrect usages. The next one. My sister has read pages after pages of the Bible. The Bible is a correct usage because it's a unique entity. With unique entities, it must be the definite article the. My sister has read pages after pages of the Bible. Pages after pages is a wrong usage. Boys after boys, children after children, teachers after teachers, pens after pens, all these are wrong. You must say boy after boy, city after city, village after village, town after town, child after child, pen after pen. These are correct usages. So pages after pages is a wrong usage. It must be page after page. If you understand the meaning of a sentence, you'll get it. We cannot read 2 or 3 pages at a time. We'll read 1 page, then move on to the next, then the next, then the next. It goes like this, one after the other. We read only 1 page at a time. We don't read 2 or 3 pages at a time. We read only 1 page at a time. So it is page after page, town after town, pen after pen, boy after boy, etc. There in the given statement is in part C. My sister has read page after page of the Bible. Read is V3 here because it's always has plus V3. The next one. The lawyer asked the complainant. Complainant means like those who, the one who filed the complaint. The lawyer asked the complainant. Asked to the complainant is a wrong usage. The lawyer asked the complainant to put his sign on the paper. To put his sign on the paper, we have discussed it while going for prepositions. Sign is a verb. Signature is a noun. Right? Sign is a verb. Signature is a noun. And the verb sign cannot be followed by the preposition on. Sign on is wrong. You must say sign the document, sign the paper, etc. Put your signature on the paper, put your signature on the document. Correct. Sign is a verb. A verb cannot be followed by on. Now my question is, you must just sign the paper. Now my question is, the error in this statement is in part B or part C? Sign is the error here or on is the error here? I say the error is in part B because sign is a verb, signature is a noun. Come to the statement once again. To put his blank, I go for a blank here. Now my question is, this blank must be filled with a noun or a verb. Sign is a verb, signature is a noun. I say that this blank must be filled with a noun because his is a possessive pronoun. After every possessive pronoun comes a noun. That is the error. So it cannot be sign, it must be signature. And signature on is correct. Put your signature on is a correct usage. Now the whole statement is completely fine. The error is in part B. The lawyer asks the complainant to put his signature on the paper. The next one. It's on the paper. That means a particular entity. Only one entity is on the paper. In the newspaper, because the newspaper contains pages. We're talking only about one paper. This sheet is called a paper. It's on the paper, on the page, etc. The misogynist hates all mother-in-laws and lady doctors, mother-in-laws, lady doctors and housemaids. There is no usage like mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, sister-in-laws or brother-in-laws. It must be mothers-in-law, fathers-in-law, sisters-in-law, brothers-in-law. So mother-in-laws is a wrong usage. It must be part B. Now here, mother-in-law is the correct usage. One person. Mothers-in-law is also correct usage. More than one. In this sentence, it must be mother-in-law, mothers-in-law. It says all. All mother-in-law is wrong. It must be all mothers-in-law. So in this case, it must be mothers-in-law. That is in part B. This misogynist hates all mothers-in-law, lady doctors, plural, and housemaids. When and connects three supporting ideas, the last two entities must be connected by and. When three supporting ideas are there, and the support indicator must connect the last two ideas. We have three supporting ideas. The meaning of this statement is, this misogynist hates mother-in-laws, mother-in-laws is wrong, mothers-in-law. This misogynist hates mothers-in-law, he hates lady doctors, he hates housemates. Right? So three supporting ideas are there, and when the support indicator connects three supporting ideas, it should connect the last two ideas. This misogynist hates mothers-in-law, first entity, lady doctors, second entity, housemates, third entity. The last two entities are getting connected by and. That means the second entity and the third entity are getting connected by and. That concept is completely fine. Then, this misogynist hates mothers-in-law, lady doctors. Lady doctors or ladies doctors. The word doctors is a noun, so lady becomes an adjective. An adjective cannot be used in the plural form. Housemaids. Maids is a noun. House is an adjective. Cannot be used in the plural form. So houses, maids is wrong. It must be housemaids. The word maids is a noun. The word house is an adjective. Think about all the rules. The next one. It is a big blunder, but we had to ignore it. Right. It is a big blunder, but we had to ignore it. I told you in a sentence, there should not be more than one word conveying the same meaning. If it is there, it becomes an error with redundancy, repetition. Return back is wrong, respond back is wrong, lady, she is a lady, faculty is wrong. You have to reply back is wrong. My son is a lady, my son is a male, nurse is wrong. Because male, my son cannot be a female. So my son is a nurse is enough. My daughter is a lady doctor is wrong. My daughter means will be lady only, female. So my daughter is a lady doctor is wrong. My daughter is a doctor is more than enough. She is a lady postman, wrong. She and lady. I remove lady. She is a postman, that is also wrong. She cannot be a postman, she must be a postwoman. Right? So she is a postwoman is correct. All these are mistakes that we make while speaking. Right? Now, it is a big blunder. Blunder itself means something that is very big. A foolish thing is called a blunder. So big blunder becomes error with redundancy. It is a blunder is completely fine. The angry mob, redundancy. Mob itself means a group of people who are angry, right? So the angry mob becomes error with redundancy. The mob is enough. It is a big blunder. Blunder itself means something that is really big, a foolish thing. So big blunder becomes another redundancy. It is a blunder, but we had to ignore it. The error in the statement is in part A. The next one. 2 summons have been issued by the court, but he has not yet appeared before the court. 2 summons. Summons is a singular noun. The plural is summonses. Summonses is there. 1 summons, 2 summonses, 3 summonses. So 2 summons is a wrong usage. It must be 2 summonses. The noun here is summonses, plural. The verb must also be plural. Have been issued, plural verb. Have been issued is have plus been plus V3. Have plus been plus V3 is a structure of is a structure of present perfect in the passive voice. So 2 summonses becomes the objective. Right? The usage 2 summonses becomes the objective. 2 summonses have been issued by the court, but he has not yet appeared before the court. We have discussed regarding the rule regarding the word yet. Yet appears in the present perfect tense. I told you this in the exceptions on tenses. A separate rule I told you. Yet comes in the present perfect tense. Has not appeared is has plus V3, present perfect. Completely fine. Yet is for actions that are not done. Has not appeared before the court means this idea talks about an action that is not done. So yet comes in present perfect, completely fine. Yet is for actions that are not done, that is also completely fine. That concept is completely fine. Right? Therein the statement is in part A. It's regarding the noun. It's not 2 summons, it is 2 summonses. 1 summons, 2 summonses. 2 summonses have been issued by the court, but he has not yet appeared before the court. The next one. Children are playing and making mischiefs as their holidays have started. Now, there is no word or there is no noun like mischiefs. Mischiefs is not there in the English language. It is just mischief. We got the answer. Error is in part C. Now, mischief is singular, plural. Mischief is an uncountable noun. There's nothing like 1 mischief, 2 mischiefs, and all. Mischief is an uncountable noun, so just mischief. Children are playing and making mischief. This is part B. Yeah, not C, sorry. Part A, this is part B. So children are playing and making mischief as the holidays have started. As is a cause and effect indicator, so it must connect a reason and result. Why are children playing and making mischief? The answer is because their holidays have started. So we have a reason here and a result here. The next one. The angry mob attacked the police officers when they came to raise the illegal construction. I told you this. The angry mob becomes an error with redundancy. Mob itself means a group of people who are angry. So the angry mob is a wrong usage. The error is in part A. Now, the angry mob is wrong. The mob attacked the police officers when they came. They refers to the police officers. Pronoun antecedent is completely fine. Plural pronoun, plural noun. When they came to raise is a verb here. 2 plus V1 plural. The illegal construction. Construction is a noun, IUN word, and the simple reason is the is there. After every article comes a noun. Illegal construction means the word illegal describes construction. Construction is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So word illegal becomes an adjective. Got it? We'll go for some questions on sentence improvement. A lot depends on your early brought up in the family. A lot depends on your early dash in the family. I go for a blank here. Identifying the part of speech will surely help us in the case of spotting the error, sentence improvement, close test, and fill in the blank questions, sentence completion questions. We've already discussed spotting the error, sentence improvement, close test. We'll go for sentence completion. Right. Now here, a lot depends on your early dash in the family. My question is, this blank must be filled with a word belonging to which part of speech? I say, as you are not here to give the answer, I say this blank must be filled with a noun. Because your is a possessive pronoun, and after every possessive pronoun comes a noun. Early is an adjective, positive degree adjective. The comparative degree of early is earlier, the superlative degree is earliest. Early, earlier, earliest. So this blank must be filled with a noun. Based on that, B and D, the given statement, are eliminated. Option B and the given statement eliminated. Brought up, brought is V2 and V3, verb eliminated. Bring up, bring is a verb eliminated. Right. Then upbringing is a single word. Right? It's a single word, upbringing. Come to A lot depends on early bringing in the family. Early bringing in the family does not make sense. Eliminated. It's how we were brought up. That's the meaning. It's how we were brought up. We were brought up is verb plus V3, verb. We were brought up, eliminated. The answer must be option C. A lot depends on your early upbringing in the family. Bringing is also a verb, eliminated. Upbringing is a noun. It's a single word. A lot depends on your early upbringing in the family. Now, to identify the noun in a sentence, we need to ask the question what. If you are getting the answer to the question what, that becomes the noun in the sentence. Come to the statement once again. A lot depends on your early upbringing in the family. What does a lot depend on? Upbringing. If I ask you, what does a lot depend on? Does a lot depend on? Depends because it's always does plus V1 plural. If I ask you, what does a lot depend on? The answer is upbringing. We're getting the answer to the question what as upbringing. So upbringing becomes a noun here. Upbringing is an ing word. Any ing word acting as a noun is called a gerund. So upbringing becomes a gerund. Got it? The next one. Migrant workers can be seen working on many of the building places in New Delhi. Building places is a wrong usage. Building premises is also wrong. Because premises means like the courtyard, front yard, backyard, that's called premises. School premises and all, eliminated. Many of the building location is wrong. Locations is correct because many of, right? Many of the boys, many of the students and all, eliminated. Now we have only one option left, option A. It's called a building site. Right? Building site, one site, two sites, three sites now. It says many of, so we need a plural noun here. Sites is a plural noun. That is completely fine. Now, building sites. Building sites in the sense, sites must be a noun because the is there anyway. After every article there must be a noun. Sites is a noun. If sites is a noun, what must be the part of speech of building in this sentence? Building sites in the sense, the word building describes sites. Sites is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So in this sentence, the word building becomes an adjective. The part of speech of a word keeps on changing based on the sentence in which the word appears. Based on the sentence, with the help of concepts, identify the part of speech of every word in every sentence. The next one. Rajesh's ability to use the local language surprised me. Now, there's nothing like ability to use a language actually, right? Ability to use a language, using language does not require any ability. So this does not make sense. Option A is gone. Rajesh knowing of the local language, the word knowing is wrong. I am knowing you is wrong. It must be I know you. Right? Eliminated. Rajesh's confidence with the local language. There's no need for Rajesh to have a confidence with the language. You should have confidence regarding using the language. Option B is also gone. Come to see. Rajesh's ability, familiarity with the local language. Yes. We get familiar with something. So here Rajesh got familiar with the local language. That means he was able to understand, he was able to manage speaking the way I do actually. So Rajesh's familiarity with the local language surprised me. That means I was surprised at how he used the language. How he spoke the language. Right. So Rajesh's familiarity with the local language surprised me. The local language is a noun because of the. Local language in the sense, the word local describes language. Language is a noun. Any word that describes a noun is called an adjective. So word local becomes an adjective. Getting it? The next one. Drinking tea is an English habit. Habit is what we cultivate in ourselves actually. Like, I have the habit of smoking, I have the habit of taking alcohol. That becomes a habit what we get used to, right? Drinking tea is an English habit, does not make sense. Habit cannot be termed as an English one here. Drinking tea is my own, right? So it cannot be termed as an English habit, so that is eliminated. Sorry, no improvement is gone. Drinking tea is an English tradition. Tradition is what people follow as a culture based on religion, all those things, or based on family. Drinking tea is not something like that, eliminated. Convention means like gathering, right? A meeting kind of thing. Convene, eliminated. It must be custom. Drinking tea is an English custom. It's a custom followed by them. Like drinking tea is a custom that is followed by them. It's not a tradition. It can be a habit actually, like consuming alcohol. But it cannot be called an English habit. Gone. The answer must be custom. Drinking tea is an English custom. Drinking tea is a noun here. What is an English custom? Drinking tea is an English custom. So drinking becomes a noun in fact. I stayed at Henry house for a week. Now I change the sentence as I have stayed. Right. We want present perfect in fact because a period of time is mentioned. A week is a period of time duration, and for appears in two categories, perfect and perfect continuous categories of all the three tenses. I make it I have stayed present perfect. I have stayed at Henry house. Nothing like Henry house. The house belongs to Henry. Mithun's house, Mithun apostrophe's house. Sunil's car, Sunil apostrophe's car. Rajesh's bike, Rajesh apostrophe's bike. So Henry house is a wrong usage. Option D is eliminated. I stayed at come to option A, Henry's home. The home belongs to Henry. Apostrophe is also there. Must be considered. Leave. I have stayed at Henry's for a week. Henry's means after apostrophe S there must be a noun. There's no noun here, eliminated. Come to see, I have stayed at Henry home. Henry home is wrong usage. Apostrophe S is missing here. The home belongs to Henry. The answer must be option A. I have stayed at Henry's home for a week. Right? So this exercise was all about some incorrect usages. Errors based on nouns appear this way. Right? Some usages are not there in the language. And what a group of someone, or group of people, or some things is called, you should by heart. Right? Got it? Thank you.